Hi, parents. This is Dan Moderman from Rockford High School, your son or daughter's AP Language and Composition teacher. I wanted to send you all a quick video about some books that will be coming home today, over the weekend. Some students are getting them early next week. We are doing an independent reading project in AP Lang regarding argument, and the students did a book tasting earlier this week, completed a survey, and then chose some books to read over the next a couple weeks. They'll have them over Christmas break, and then we'll probably have a due date a couple weeks into the new year. The purpose of reading these books, obviously, is independent reading is really important for us in AP Lang, as the students this trimester are writing argumentative responses to AP argument questions, and they have to select evidence from their own prior knowledge. And so we are using references to the memoirs we read last trimester, but I wanted to bring in some new voices, and we're not doing memoirs this trimester. We're reading some books about issues. I'm going to give you a sample of some of the books that students are reading. This book, Odd Girl Out, which is about the hidden culture of aggression in girls, dealing with social media and some of the bullying and cyberbullying that happens, and just aggressive nature in girls in school. This book is called The Devil's Highway. It's a book about the pathway from Mexico to the United States that is through a really difficult terrain that many choose to travel in order to come to the United States, even though many of them don't make it because there's such a crisis in their country dealing with the cartels. Here's a book by John Krakauer, who wrote Into the Wild, and also the book on Everest, Into Thin Air. But this is about a college town that was not doing a very good job of dealing with sexual assault on campus. And of course, Krakauer does a deep dive into that. It's looking at this issue of sexual assault on campus. And this last one that some are reading is 102 Minutes. This is the untold story of the fight to survive inside the Twin Towers. These are just 4 books from about 20 that the students could pick from, and I think there's about 12 different titles that students are reading. The reason for my video is just to remind you to have a conversation with your son or daughter. They're supposed to have a conversation with you about the book that they've selected. I'm a big believer in the right to read. I think students need to be able to read an eclectic mix of books here at the high school. I'm also a parent of 4 children. I have a son and 3 daughters, and one who's about to graduate high school, one who just finished a somewhat controversial book in her high school class, The Kite Runner, which deals with all kinds of controversial issues. And I was encouraged that she was able to read that book and that we be able to have conversation about it at home. And she's working on an essay on it right now, and that I'd be able to come alongside her and talk to her about the book and the issues in the book. I want the same thing for you as parents. I do want your son or daughter to be challenged. I want them to read academic material, but I also believe that you have a right to have a voice in what your son or daughter is reading. So if the book that they're reading, that they brought home, if there's anything in that book, there's any issues with that book that would violate the ethics, principles, ideas that you are trying to express in your family, please let me know, and we will find them a different book. There are plenty to choose from. I want to be open and upfront about this, that as a parent, I want to have a voice in my son or daughter's education, but I also am a big believer in the right to read. So one question you might say is, okay, Dan, what are you doing with these books? Well, reading them will serve as great evidence for the argument questions that they're writing this trimester, but the students are also going to be doing a research project on an issue from that book. I'm going to be sharing with them models from students from last year that did the same thing, and it was really a smashing success. Students researched the issues, they found other sources, and then took a position and wrote a formal research-based argumentative essay. So that's our goal in this project. So again, it's such a privilege to work with your sons and daughters every day. Thank you for the opportunity. I am just so thankful for the opportunity to work with them. And please let me know if there's any issues that you have with the books. And I hope that this is a success like it was last year. Thanks again. Have a wonderful weekend.